Imagine, if you will, a peaceful island paradise rudely awakened by the furious rumbling of an ancient giant, Mount Pelée. This sleeping titan, nestled in the heart of the Caribbean, began to stir from its slumber at the dawn of the 20th century, and with it came a series of subtle yet ominous signs of the fury that lay dormant beneath its surface. The first whispers of the impending catastrophe were geological in nature. Fumaroles, steam vents that are a common occurrence in volcanic regions, started appearing around the base of Mount Pelée. These vents, spewing forth hot gases and steam, were a telltale sign of the mountain's reawakening. Yet, the inhabitants of the nearby city of Saint-Pierre, entranced by the island's beauty and their daily routines, dismissed these signs as mere quirks of nature. As weeks turned into months, the signs became more pronounced. The ground beneath Saint-Pierre began to shake with increasing frequency. These were not the gentle tremors the islanders had grown accustomed to, but violent, jarring shakes that rattled the city to its core. Seismologists would later identify these as harmonic tremors, a type of seismic activity typically associated with the movement of magma beneath a volcano's surface. Yet, despite these clear indicators of the mountain's growing unrest, life in Saint-Pierre carried on as usual. The city's inhabitants, either unaware of the danger or choosing to ignore it, continued their daily routines, their lives punctuated by the increasingly frequent tremors. Scientists and experts issued warnings, but their voices were lost in the cacophony of daily life, and the belief that the mountain that had been dormant for centuries would remain so. As the tremors intensified, so did the sense of unease among the citizens, yet the daily life in Saint-Pierre continued, oblivious to the impending doom. Dawn broke on May 8, 1902, not with the usual chirping of tropical birds, but with the thunderous roar of Mount Pelée releasing its pent-up fury. The earth trembled beneath the islanders' feet as the mountain, silent for centuries, unleashed a catastrophic pyroclastic surge. This was not your typical lava flow, slow and predictable. Instead, it was an avalanche of searing ash, scorching gases and rock fragments, all hurtling at an unfathomable speed. It was like a storm, but one that rained fire, not water. The pyroclastic cloud was an unstoppable force, obliterating everything in its path. It swept through the city of Saint-Pierre, the Paris of the Caribbean, with a vengeance. Buildings that had stood for centuries, sturdy and elegant, were reduced to rubble in the blink of an eye. Trees, once lush and vibrant, were scorched into skeletal remains. Ships in the harbour, their sails billowing in the morning breeze, were engulfed in flames and sunk beneath the waves. The city's inhabitants stood little chance. The pyroclastic flow was swift and deadly, catching the city's populace off guard. In a matter of minutes, the city was engulfed, and its people, who moments ago were starting their day, were overwhelmed by the onslaught. The casualty rate was shockingly high, with nearly 30,000 lives snuffed out in an instant. Saint-Pierre, once a buzzing hub of culture and commerce, was almost entirely wiped off the map. The city's grandeur, its vibrant street life, the laughter and chatter that filled its cafes and markets, all silenced in one cataclysmic moment. The city of Saint-Pierre, once the jewel of the Caribbean, was now a smouldering ruin. The devastation was almost total, the loss of life staggering, but amidst the destruction there was a glimmer of hope, a testament to the indomitable human spirit. One man, Louis-Auguste Cyparis, miraculously survived the eruption. In a matter of minutes, the bustling city of Saint-Pierre was reduced to a smouldering ruin, with only one known survivor, a man named Louis-Auguste Cyparis. In the midst of the devastation, a single human story emerged, that of Louis-Auguste Cyparis, the man who survived the wrath of Mount Pelée. Louis-Auguste Cyparis, a man of humble origins, was known to the inhabitants of Saint-Pierre, Martinique, as a labourer, and unfortunately, a bit of a troublemaker. His reputation led him to a poorly ventilated, dungeon-like jail cell on the eve of the eruption, a circumstance that would strangely become his saving grace. The morning of May 8, 1902, began like any other for Cyparis. The tight confines of his cell, the dim light filtering through the small grating, the hollow echo of his own breath. But as the ground started to rumble beneath him, the day took an unexpected turn. The eruption of Mount Pelée unleashed an inferno upon the city, leveling buildings and incinerating everything in its path. But beneath the city, Cyparis remained untouched, shielded by the thick stone walls of his cell. Imagine the terror and confusion as the once familiar sounds of the city above were replaced by deafening roars and the air became hot and suffocating. Yet despite the hellish conditions, Cyparis held on. For 4 excruciating days he endured trapped and alone until he was finally discovered and freed by a rescue team. In the aftermath of the disaster, Cyparis became a living testament to the power of Mount Pelée and the devastation it wrought. His incredible survival story was told and retold, capturing the imagination of people around the world. He was paraded as a marvel in circuses across the United States, where he was billed as the man who lived through doomsday. Louis-Auguste Cyparis, once a common criminal, emerged from the ashes as a symbol of resilience and survival. His story serves as a powerful reminder of human tenacity in the face of nature's most destructive forces. The eruption of Mount Pelée was not just a geological event, but a stark reminder of the power of nature and the fragility of human existence. In the aftermath of the eruption, the island was left in ruins. But from this devastation, a spirit of resilience emerged. The people, in their determination to reclaim their home, began the long and arduous process of rebuilding. Brick by brick, stone by stone, they labored to restore the city, their efforts a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. The economy, however, had been dealt a severe blow. The rich, fertile soils that had once been the backbone of the island's prosperity were now blanketed in ash, rendering them barren. Yet with time and hard work, the land was gradually rehabilitated. The once lush fields of sugarcane and banana were replaced with new crops more suited to the altered soil. In the wake of this disaster, the population dwindled. Many had perished in the eruption, and others had fled in its aftermath. But those who remained were unwavering in their resolve. They were the keepers of the island's memory, the bearers of its history. This tragedy served as a somber lesson in the power of nature and the importance of vigilant monitoring and preparedness. Measures were put into place to prevent such a disaster from happening again. Seismic and volcanic activity is now closely monitored, and evacuation plans are firmly in place. But perhaps the most important lesson learned was the value of community. In the face of adversity, it was the bond of community that provided strength and hope. It was their shared history, their shared loss, and their shared determination to rebuild that united them in the aftermath. From the ashes of Saint-Pierre, a new city arose, carrying with it the memories of that fateful day and the indomitable spirit of its people. The eruption of Mount Pelée is a testament to the awesome power of nature, and the story of Louis-Auguste Cyparis symbolizes the remarkable resilience of the human spirit. This narrative is a tale of 2 formidable forces, the raw, untamed energy of the earth and the unyielding tenacity of a man against all odds. The eruption of Mount Pelée was not just a geological event, it was a display of the immense power that nature holds within its grasp. The mountain awoke with a fury that was both terrifying and awe-inspiring, demonstrating that even in our modern age we are not the masters of this planet, but merely its inhabitants. Yet within this cataclysmic event there lies another story. A story about a man named Louis-Auguste Cyparis, who found himself in the jaws of death, but refused to surrender. His survival is not just a lucky break or a twist of fate. It's a testament to the resilience that exists within each of us. It's a testament to the power of the human spirit, which can find a way to endure even when faced with the most destructive forces imaginable. The eruption claimed thousands of lives and left a city in ruins. But from those ruins, a new Saint-Pierre was born, a city that rose from the ashes, rebuilt and continued on, the resilience of its people mirrored in the survival of one man. And so, Louis-Auguste Cyparis became a symbol of hope, of the will to survive, and of the strength that lies within us all. The story of Mount Pelée and Louis-Auguste Cyparis is a tale of 2 powers. The power of nature, vast and uncontrollable, and the power of the human spirit, indomitable and resilient. It's a sobering reminder that while we cannot control the forces of nature, we can rise from the ashes, rebuild, and endure. It's a testament to our ability to stand tall in the face of adversity, to weather the storm, and to keep moving forward. The story of Mount Pelée and Cyparis is a sobering reminder that while we cannot control the forces of nature, we can rise from the ashes, rebuild, and endure.